Okay, boys, girls, and everyone who doesn't own electric Oreos, it's time for that Thank You Next review. Let's do this. Ooh. I was thinking into darkness, something to hold on. Found you when you were so broken. Okay, so Ari is back with a brand new record called Thank You Next. 5 months and 22 days, apparently, after, Sweetener and Holy Cranberries. I really did want to love this. Yours Truly and Dangerous Woman were both really good, if not great, pop projects. And of course, My Everything did have its fair share of bops, of course. We can't deny that. But I just feel like ever since Sweetener, I've been at kind of a loss of words as to how to feel about Ariana Grande's music. Because I'm like, oh God, I love her. I love, her personality. She's got some quirks. She's got some skirtiness. I love her voice. Her voice is just so buttery and angelic. Yes. But I tell you, if there's anything I don't like, it's just that constant repetition of the trap skittering sound in Sweetener, and it is prevalent in this record, but I will get to that in a minute. I do have a few things to say about that, but first, we do need to get into the lead singles of this project because they are very interesting. Well, two of the three, the main singles, Thank You Next and 7 Rings, are the interesting ones because Imagine is honestly one of the most dull tracks in the track listing, unfortunately, but it's still okay due to her vocals, but I just find the production particularly weak, so that's kind of sad. So Thank You Next, it has kind of struck on me because it has gotten kind of old, and it really doesn't have the same wow factor it did 3 months ago. When I heard this at first, I was like, holy gosh, this is the pop song we didn't know we needed, holy crap. But now I'm just kind of like, I don't know, some part of me just doesn't love it anymore, and that's just kind of really sad. But I do kind of still think it's alright. It's not bad by any means, but it's just, it didn't really grip me, Then we had the song that had me really worried for this record. I'm talking, whoa, 7 Rings. And yeah, I still find it particularly dull, mainly when the chorus just grinds to a halt with the whole, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it. And sure, the lyrics are a bit epic. I do admire the lyrics. It's just like, Ari, girl, your voice, use it. But I do have to say, I was excited, though. I was like, okay, Thank You Next. I'm pretty sure not every song's going to be like 7 Rings. And thankfully, no, there's quite a few interesting moments on here, and yeah, nothing here is really like 7 Rings. 7 Rings is kind of an outlier. So let's just hop into some of these tracks. How'd it go? Well, unfortunately, yeah, we do start off with Imagine, and like I said, that's probably one of my least favorite tracks now. I know I did initially really dig it in my reaction, but then I quickly just, when I listened to it with headphones and kind of let the whole vibe sink in, it didn't really work as well as I wanted to. And then we have Needy, which props to Ariana Grande for, admitting her flaws, admitting that she could be needy, she can be like that. But you know what? I still kind of find the production here a little generic, and I'm like, well, I do kind of like what melody there is here, but it's like, this is one of the ones that doesn't really grip me. Thankfully, though, we can get positive. Because NASA actually is a bop, and I really do like, the NASA thing. That it's really fun also. Yeah, we're gonna pretend this is the T, sis. So, honestly, her vocal runs on this record, I really do gotta say, her vocals continue to still be really strong. I'm like, girl, you got something going, because, like, wow, she sounds really good on this track, and overall, yeah, it is unfortunately a little repetitive, and I don't think the production is completely, like, memorable, but I do like the bass that is there, and it is, pretty catchy. And then we have a really interesting one, Bloodline. Oh my gosh. This one did stand out to me initially on my first listen to this record as being one of the big standouts, and I think it still is, given it about 5 listens later. This track is pretty cool. I do like kind of like the brassy, like, instrumental that kind of starts off this thing, and you're just like, whoa, what's this? But I'll tell you what I mainly like here is that chorus. It gets really intense with her vocals and just the production, all the bass comes in and everything else, and you're like, wow, this is actually pretty intense. And it's like, you know what? I feel like this is that kind of thing we needed a bit more of on Sweetener, just something, a bit like this. And then up next is Fake Smile, which I don't really care for the kind of limp percussion and really kind of like weak track overall in terms of the production, but I do kind of like the lyrics here. I'm like, you know what, Ari, you're getting a little personal. You can't be faking those smiles, girl. You just can't do that, bish, but okay. And then up next, we have pretty much my favorite song here. It is called Bad Idea, and whoa. Okay, there is one problem I do have. I do have to get that out of the way first. And it is, of course, like the skitters in the chorus are really high in the mix, and I do think they get rather annoying and also kind of stale. But everything else about this track actually is really good. I really do like, the guitars to start this thing off, like the and Ariana on the chorus. Oh, sis. Okay. And all throughout the track, she just has this really smooth, really potent delivery. And plus, there's these cool claps in the mix. And also, I love the way she says, bad idea. I just think overall that track's really enjoyable, and it just really stands out because it's kind of fun. Has more of a focus on the melody, and yeah. Track 7 is about making up, and overall, I can definitely see why you like making up so much, Ari, because you definitely, you show it. Yeah, the lyrics here are very sexual, and overall, I do find the tune pretty generic, unfortunately. I can't really get fully into this one, but I do kind of like, the lyrics. It's an alright track. Okay, Ghostin'. This is a big one because, it is pretty much 3 words in my opinion. A skitter free supreme. Yes. This track doesn't feature any skitters at all. And of course, I'm not going to complain about the whole record having skitters, but it's like, this track definitely gives you a break from that, and a much needed one at that. The track is atmospheric. Ariana, oh my god. Lower range Ariana is something I didn't know I needed, because geez, this song pretty much makes me fall in love with Ari again, because Sweetener and then most of this record, I'm just like, well, it's alright, it's cool, but it's like, this is something that I really feel like makes me want to stan Ari some more, because, because the vocals are so delicate and just, yes. And then she gets some orchestral instrumentation. Oh, on this track and Bad Idea, she gets some orchestral instrumentation, and you're like, oh! And then we get In My Head, which it does have this cool little playful instrumental. I do really like the chorus of this track, and of course Ari sounds really good, but this unfortunately is another one of those kind of generic kind of songs, which, it kind of runs through on this record. The songs do feel kind of generic, most of them. I know there's not many of them that stand out to be particularly memorable. There are a few, like I said before, Bloodline. Bad Idea is not incredibly original, but it's still a bop. And yeah, Ghostin'. But this one, it just kind of feels lost in the shuffle because, of course, by this point, you're towards the end of the record, you're just like, it's just not that original, sis. It's still not bad, though. Then we get Thank You Next, and then 7 Rings, which I've already kind of done my little spiel on at the beginning of this video. I mean, Thank You Next, Thank You Next is alright. Not really a huge fan of 7 Rings, unfortunately, but I guess I'd better get to liking it because, it's going to be on the radio probably for the next 7 months. And now we come to the big one, the one that I was excited for, the one that I was like, oh my god, what is this track going to sound like? As soon as I saw the track list release, Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored. Oh wow, she was feeling confident there with that title. Yeah, she's like, you know what? But this track, I actually don't really care for it that much. I was like, no, I wanted to love this song so badly. And I think it is kind of catchy. It does have a nice tempo to it. And, it has some bumpability, but I just think it is definitely overproduced and overmixed. The way that there's, a trap skitter going along with, the percussion and everything. It all sounds like kind of a mess to me. But alright, that's my review of Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. Let's go with an overall review. Overall, I think this album is a grower. I have listened to it 5 times and it has gotten better. There are lots of individual elements to pretty much almost every song that I do like, but it's the tracks as a whole don't really come together, in my opinion, for a record that you can kind of enjoy all the way. I don't enjoy this project all the way, but it's the moments that are good are definitely very good. I do think this is slightly better than Sweetener. I will say this is a little better than Sweetener. It's not quite as disappointing after a few listens. I mean, at first I was like, okay, this is worse than Sweetener, but no, I've actually grown some appreciation to this record, and I do think it is better than Sweetener. It is a decent record. I don't think it's anything near great. It's not Ariana Grande's best work, or really, in my opinion, the best she can do, because no, this record is not the best she can do, I know that, but for an album released in 6 months, it's not bad. Honestly, this record could have been a complete train wreck, but thankfully it's not. Imagine the kind of record they could have put together in another 2 years if they had given a lot more time to work on this, maybe given her some more interesting ideas production-wise, because I just feel like, the music is where this album kind of falls apart, but the rest of it, Ari's on her A game, though, and there are some memorable moments lyrically. Well, like I said, it's okay. I think Thank You Next overall is an okay album. I'm going to give it, a very, very light 6 out of 10, I'm going to be generous because I do think, you know, there are enough good moments on here to save it. Like, it's not going to, yeah, it's getting a passing grade. But I just think overall this could have been better. I think some of the tracks are definitely unmemorable. She kind of relies here on the most interesting tracks to kind of carry the whole record. And there are definitely some that I'm just like, no, they are still really dull. I have grown on some of the tracks, though. So thankfully, that's all right. So is it her best or worst record? Well, neither. It's actually neither. No. Still say for worst, I would go Sweetener. And then for best, either Yours Truly or Dangerous Woman still. But alright, that's my review. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, leave a thumbs up on the video, and comment down below, what did you think of Thank You Next? Oh my god! Anyways, yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.